Here is a recap of our training for VBS leaders and volunteers. Behavior strategy. We want to care and love for our children, but sometimes they act up. This may sometimes make us think that we need to correct our children and offer moral correction, but our time is so limited. Our strategy, particularly at VBS, is to do these three things: attend, redirect, and connect. We want to attend to children's needs. Maybe it's water, maybe they need a snack, maybe they need to hear the question again, but we want to address the needs that children have, redirect them, pressing them back into the lesson or the activity so that they might be engaged further. Our goal is to keep their eyes set on the truth of God's word, and sometimes they just need a person pointing them that way. Connect. We want to make sure that we stay connected with our children, and we offer encouragement along the way. Sometimes it's not a scolding that will win a child, but a kind word and a simple attention to their needs, redirection toward the task at hand, and connection that will form relationships that will build them closer to Jesus Christ. As we do this, we'll have conversations and questions throughout the week. You are encouraged strongly to ask our children, what have you been learning? What's your favorite part about VBS? Can you share me the verse from our vacation Bible school? Or what is the main theme? These important questions and connections are all of what makes VBS not just a time of fun, but of learning and growing closer to know who the Lord is. Preparedness and awareness. The two-person rule is the most important rule in our children's ministry. Never be alone with a child. The bathroom procedure goes along with that, in that you should never enter a bathroom with a child. If a child is in a bathroom and there is an issue at hand, then what needs to be done is the doorway needs to be propped open to allow for communication to occur with the leader and the child. And in the event that there needs to be assistance, a second leader needs to be present so that we don't break the two-person rule. Water and first aid. If there is a cut or a bruise or an incident that requires first aid, our first aid station is in the center of our vacation Bible school in the library of our church. And so you should send our children there and not attend to first aid in your classroom setting. We also want to make sure there is water is being taken in by everyone, leaders and children alike. Appropriate contact. When we are working with children, we want to make sure that we do everything we can to care for them. And this also means how we make contact with them. Typically, we will make contact with children verbally. We should be careful not to raise our voice or express a tone that is harsh in manner. On the other side, there may be times when children approach us and they wish to express affection through a hug or even more. And so it's important for you to know that you should never extend or accept a frontal hug. If a child wants to hug you, try to offer them an alternative, a greeting like a high five or a fist bump, but maybe a side hug would be the only thing that would be permissible if a child were to run up and try to give you a hug. Emergency situations and more. In the event of a fire, you need to do these three things. Leave everything behind and count the children in your space. Number 2, exit the building promptly. Number 3, when outside of the building, make sure to perform a count of every child in your care. Contact a leader to let them know that you have everyone that you are responsible for. When everything is clear, you will return into the building, and then we can dismiss children to their families or go back to our regular routine. If there is a power outage, we want you to make sure that you use either a cell phone or a flashlight that's in the room to turn on the light, and have your children exit the space, go into the hallway and sit down until the power is restored. In the event of a tornado or extreme weather event, we will do the same thing as if there is a power outage, yet we will try to pull everyone away from windows and make sure they're in a safe and protected place in the building, which typically is our hallways. Lastly, an active shooter situation. If an active shooter is on the premises, you will be told you will do these 3 things if possible. First, if you are able to, you need to run away. You need to run with your children, making sure you have track of them, out of the building as quickly as you can, either to as far as 13th Street on the south side or to the softball fields on the north side of campus. If you are not able to do this, you need to hide. Hide in your room, close the door, barricade the door, and hide out of line of sight from where the door is. Third, if any of these cannot happen, you are responsible for the lives of these children, and you are not just encouraged, you are asked to fight for their lives, doing everything you can to be a barricade between an aggressor in this space. Our mission. In conclusion, we hope to share the gospel with our children and every chance we have to point them toward Jesus and have them think about or talk about things of the gospel are what we wish for you to do. So have conversations with them, pointing them to the gospel so that we can teach them the truth of God's word so that they might grow closer to Jesus and hopefully putting their trust in Him and having a relationship with Jesus. Thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate you listening to this recap of our VBS training.